What's up, traders? Anthony Crudele here, and welcome to this week's episode of Develop Your Edge. Changing things up a little bit this week, traders. Instead of me interviewing a guest, I have fellow futures trader Jeff Wagner from Twitter coming on to ask me questions about some tweets I put out over the past couple of weeks talking about edge. Then later in the show, I'm going to give some end of the week market commentary on this crazy rally we're seeing in equities. So hang tight, traders, while we get Jeff on the line. Jeff, welcome to Develop Your Edge.
Hey, Anthony, it's great to be here. Just want to say hi to all those traders around the world. A big shout out from Canada. Got this beautiful view behind me, and it's NFP. Markets are hot. We're rallying high.
I'm busy day. Where are you exactly in Canada?
I'm out on Vancouver Island, so I'm off the coast of Vancouver, about 2 hours by ferry, and I'm more on central. I'm somehow trapped in a fairy tale with a beautiful wife. So yeah, COVID-19 doesn't really matter a whole lot. I'm just enjoying life out here in the wilderness.
Well, good for you, Jeff. I'm happy for you. And actually this week, I was putting out some tweets, really kind of thinking about what I was going to talk about this week on Develop Your Edge. And you actually sent me a message on Twitter and said, hey, Anthony, I'd actually like to interview you and ask you some questions about these tweets. So I figured, why not have you come on the show? And I know that you're a day trader, you trade futures, and your primary product is the Russell futures.
Yeah, RTY. Yeah, I mean, I shot you that message on Twitter and said, hey, how about trading places? I got to ask you about this tweet. Okay, so I'm going to read it here. The market is great at making us feeling smart in moments, and in other moments, like we know nothing about what's really happening. It's why we need a process. Otherwise, we'd be singing our praises one day and quitting the next. I embrace that I know nothing and use that as an edge. Now, you got 201 likes at the time I read this, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, how the heck does embracing that I know nothing get used as a trading edge? I mean, I get that sometimes we just need to not do anything, like probably just sit on our hands and do nothing. But for an edge, how does knowing nothing give you an edge, Anthony?
It comes down to me embracing the fact that I don't know the outcome of any trade. I need the market to prove to me it wants to do something. So when I get into a situation where I'm looking at a potential trade setup, I don't know if it's going to work, right? So if I focus solely on the destination, on where I thought it could go, then my mind becomes just fixated on the destination, not executing the journey. So I embrace the fact that I don't know anything really when it comes to where the market may go. So I have to have a strategy in place, a process in place,
right,
to where the market proves to me it wants to do something. I mean, just look at the market the past 2 months. Did I look at the chart and think that this rally could happen? Sure, I did. Did I know it was going to happen? No. I wish I did know it was going to happen. But along the way, the market proves to us through our strategy and our process if it can do something, if it wants to do something. So then I focus on the journey. I focus on executing the journey. I don't focus on the destination,
right,
because I don't know
sure.
that the destination is actually going to happen.
I mean, that makes sense. So you're kind of going, hey, anything can happen. I know nothing, and let's just focus on doing what I know to do, and then let it work out.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, it's when I say that I know nothing and that's an edge, it's just that it really comes down to I don't know what the outcome will be, right? There's been a lot of times I've been right in where the destination is, but I've been wrong in the trade, right? Because I have focused so much on the destination that sometimes I can't manage my risk and the market goes against me too far to be able to hold it to that destination, right? So
Sure.
I've learned that I can be right, but I don't really need to be right. I don't know where it's going to go. I'm just going to execute the journey and let the process really take over, because I can't lean on knowing something. I've learned actually that the smartest people a lot of times don't make the best traders. They're too held to an idea. And we see a lot of that right now in the market.
Yep.
People are held by ideas. They believe this should be happening. Well, okay. I don't know that that's going to happen. The market's got to prove it to me.
Yeah. I like that. Rather than, you see tons of people, shorts have been arguing that it's too high, too expensive for weeks now, and they keep proving that they're wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. You had another tweet that I had put
Yeah,
out, and you
yeah.
had some
So
questions about that
this
one.
is thank you. This is great. We can trade places here. So this other tweet you put out, you go, trading can take us to the extremes of our emotions, and those emotions tell us a lot about our process, how we're trading, and what we need to work on. I listen to my emotions and use them as signals and an edge. Listen to your emotions. They tell you where you're really at. Now, you didn't get as many likes on that one, but I totally agree on listening to your emotions. And I believe many traders should embrace this more in their trading. But listen, when it's hot in the kitchen, bud, how are you, and you're trading that hard right edge, how do you stay dialed into your own personal emotional frequency? Like
Well,
doing exactly what you're talking about. But I mean, when, man, things are boiling, the market's moving, there you are, you got full size on. How do you stay dialed in on that emotional frequency?
I'll get to that, but first is all the traders out there, emotions are a part of our trading. They just are, right? And at the beginning of my career, I actually tried to fight having emotions in my trading. I thought it was possible. Then you learn over time it's just impossible. So what did I start to do? How did I react in moments? And how did I feel after I did certain things? Especially the moments where I didn't do something that worked out for me. Basically made a bad decision in the heat of the moment. And then you get that
Oh,
pit
yeah.
in your stomach. You walk away
Yep.
later and you think to yourself, well, why did I do it? I almost knew it was wrong to do, but I did it anyway. And then at night, I started visualizing, what did I do wrong? Why did I know that was wrong, but still make that decision? And what ultimately ended up happening was, okay, embrace that emotion. Take that emotion in and use that as an edge. Well, how? The next time I'm about to do something I know I really shouldn't be doing, but in the past I just went and did it anyway, I remembered that pit in my stomach, that bad feeling, and said, you know what? I'm making this better decision right here, right now. Because I think that most traders, in the heat of a moment, a lot of times they just do things, right? They don't recognize that prior time that they did it, and then later they said, well, you know what? I did it, and then they felt bad about it later, and they talk about it later. And I think one of the fine differences between a newer trader and a veteran trader is that veteran traders, in the heat of the moment, remember those bad feelings, remember those things that they did wrong, and they say, you know what? I know, even if this works out, I'm going to be pissed about this, and then later I'm going to say, why did I do it? So I fix it in
Right.
the moment. So I use that bad feeling to keep me out of some bad decisions. Now, in the heat of the moment, how do I use it as an edge to help me with my trading? And really, for me, this is something that's evolved over time. We're always evolving as traders anyway, but I remember having one of my best days ever. And I remember sitting there, was maybe a 15-point range in the E-Mini S&P, and I was just clicking in and out and just smooth, man. You know, just doing everything right. Had a bunch of losers that day, but still had a really great day. And I just remember that feeling, being like, you're in complete control. The market wasn't that busy, didn't matter. Everything I was doing was calm, confident, and in control. So when I get back to those moments, yeah, the environment matters. You want to have busy days when those happen, when those emotions start to take place. It's like being in that zone, that just feeling good about what you're doing. And it's really not feeling so good where you go and you go too far and you get yourself into trouble. It's just about that calm confidence and just knowing that I'm
Hmm.
clicking in when I should be. I'm clicking out when I should be. Winner or loser, that's when I end up trading the best. And I'm able to, like I said, just be in the now and just execute, just trade.
I like that. That makes a lot of sense. I never really considered using that bad feeling as a reminder when you're not in sync, right? And that's a good that's a really good analogy. Thanks for that. And then definitely that sync. I mean, to me, I surf on the other side of the island here, and it's the same thing. Like, you're wanting to ride that wave, you want to get in the flow of that market and just let it work, right?
Yeah.
And you know when you're not, and when you're not, step away from the screen, take a break.
Yeah, I look at it for me this week, and I actually tweeted about that this morning. You know, this week was coming in every single day. I'm looking at the market, and I don't want to use the word frustrated, but it was just like nothing. My strategy was giving me nothing, and there was some trade opportunities I probably could have clicked in. I did click into a couple, but I looked at the overall, just the way I was feeling and the way everything was looking in the market, and I just stepped back. I mean, and it was, part of it was technical, part of it was everything that's going on, with the market and the rally. going against a lot of fundamentals.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the same token, it was also the way I was feeling. I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to trade good in this environment. It's not for me. I took a small loss and I moved forward. I think as time goes by as traders, we have to recognize our emotions and know that they are such a huge part of what it is that we do. Because when you're feeling confident and calm and in control, really the market could be doing anything and you have a greater chance of making money than if you're not calm or confident or just other things are going on in your mind. The
Right.
odds are probably going to be stacked against you.
I agree. Do you find those emotions, this emotional edge, I guess would be the right way to call it? Does that give you another edge over other traders? And what about those systematic traders, those guys that are just running the screens?
Well, systematic, they have statistical edge. I don't really compare it. And I don't really compare myself to other traders and what my edge is. And simply to me, it's using my self-awareness and knowing myself really well and knowing my strategy really well. That's what gives me my edge. So for me, it's just about being in the now,
Mhm.
self-awareness, and respecting my emotions, embracing my emotions, and using them for an edge.
I like it.
This is
Thanks, bud.
we have one more tweet we're going to go over. So traders, hang on. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
24/7 access to diverse global markets. Right here. That's why I added stock index futures to my trading strategy. Now when I see ups and downs coming, I'm ready. Well played.
Why trade with TradeStation? It's innovative, easy to use, and totally freaking sweet. With powerful tools to track and execute your trades and low per trade commissions on stocks, futures, and options. Upgrade your trade at TradeStation.com.
Welcome back, traders. Jeff is still with us. Jeff, thanks for hanging in there. We have one more tweet that you want to ask me some questions about, so fire away.
Yeah, bud. So back in May at around 10 p.m., you write this tweet out, and it was late at night, but you said once you felt the pain of the market taking from you, then you can shift your mindset to becoming a taker from the market, not a giver. My mindset is I want to take from the market, not give. This mindset gives me the confidence to press when I'm winning and give less when I'm losing. So I know the purpose of this show is to talk on edge, and mindset is 100% one of my favorite topics to talk about. I believe a lot of traders can learn from mindset, but many traders learn to lose well, but they lack an edge in learning to win well. So what steps would you give a beginner, intermediate trader, any traders for that matter? What would you give them to learn to become a taker from the market and not a giver?
So, traders, this is one of the most critical moments in my career, this exact question. And it's because I think that losing is contagious and winning is contagious. And one of the things that I think so many new struggling traders struggle with is going from having a winning mindset from a losing mindset. It's very difficult. I struggled with this for years because when you're losing, a lot of times I just self imploded and I would just give to the
Sure.
market. And going back to some emotions, but you just had this emotional just feeling just of you're beat up and you just go ahead. Here you go. And you give it to the market. I remember so many times I was near the bottom of my account and I was just doing everything I could to fight it and keep it into a certain area. And then all of a sudden, one or two or three bad days, and then the fourth day, and or whatever day it was, I would just give in and just let it go and almost force myself to want to write a check again. And that mentality was just a losing mentality. I was having moments of weakness while the market's in a position of strength and the market was taking from me. And I said, you know what? At some point, I said, I'm done. I'm not giving you anymore. I'm going to start taking. And in those moments when I felt that I had a weak hand, whether it was mentally, physically, emotionally, I would step back and I'd say, I'm not giving you any more. And I almost took that in a lot of ways personally because
I
I
like that.
felt that a lot of the money I gave to the market was when I was in weak moments. And I said to myself, Anthony, don't go to the market with a weak hand, go to the market with a strong hand. So that to me is the difference.
Man, I like that. I hope traders are out there writing this down because there's a lot of wisdom in that. Going in the market with a strong hand. And to me, that's mental capital right there. Like, if you've been out hey, drinking, partying, whatever, and you're waking up in the morning hungover and you want to go trade. I mean, to me, that's just a recipe. Been there, just giving it back, right? Same thing. If you haven't prepped, same thing. That's a really good points.
And then shifting back to the taking aspect of it, when I'm doing well, take as much as I can. And that's just a mindset I've had over the years. And that took a long time to develop, but I know that when things are going well, and we talked about this in the previous segment, and everything's working for me, I'm going to take as much as I can because I personally believe, at least in my 20 plus years, that you make money in moments. So moments that everything's working for me, strategy wise, mentally, physically, emotionally, everything's going good. I try to take as much as I can because I know that there's going to be times where things aren't working for me. So I've learned to take when I have the ability to take from the market, when the market is actually giving me what I want. So that's a major mindset shift that I had to have over the years. And to also be patient during both periods. When you're doing really well, stay patient with it and stay and trade all the time. When you're not, step back and be patient to know eventually it's going to come again. But Jeff, we got to leave it there. All I could say is thank you so much for reaching out to me on Twitter and coming on Develop Your Edge today. This was excellent.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Thanks, Anthony.
Hang tight, traders. I'll be right back with my final thoughts. Final thoughts for today, traders. First of all, I want to thank Jeff for coming on the show and asking some great questions about tweets I put out about developing your edge. Now, I want to take a look at the charts, everybody. You know, I talk about Bollinger Bands all the time, and it's not always about getting you into good trades. It's about keeping you out of bad trades. And actually, I put a tweet out this morning saying, you know what? I'm done for the week. Wasn't the best trading week for me. I took a small loss, and I just said, you know what? This market just doesn't fit my environment. And when I look at the daily chart, I talk about those Bollinger peaks a lot. And this is really why, a big reason why I kind of stepped back this week and didn't do too much, because remember I've said in the past, when the market's going up and Bollinger Bands are going up and they take out those prior peaks, I'm really not interested in fading that. Now, I know that I'm a short-term day trader, but sometimes I like to look at my daily to really give me that perspective. And we're just in this breakout move right now. And who knows where it's going to stop. And one level I have on my chart is 32.18 from those Bollinger peaks way back when. It could pause there, but I'm really not interested at all at getting short this market right now. Intraday, if I have some confirmations, maybe I take a look at a rotation, but we need to see some proof. We need to start seeing some of my shorter term charts, see some rotations, because really for me, that's what I like more of as a trader. So remember, know yourself, know your environment. Don't force things in a market that maybe just doesn't fit you. And this market for me, breaking away like this, definitely not the best market for me to be trading. One thing I've been talking about a lot lately on the podcast is micro options. I had Tim McCord from CME Group on the podcast this past week. If you want to learn more about micro options, you can go and check that out. But you can go to activetrader.cmegroup.com and learn more about options on micro E-Mini futures. And if you want to learn more about options in general, you can go and click on why options on futures here. Remember, activetrader.cmegroup.com. Remember, traders, any questions or comments, please put them down below. You could also send me messages or comments on Twitter at Anthony Crudele. And one thing I'm adding this week, I started to get on Instagram and doing my morning thoughts in my story. So if you're interested in hearing my morning thoughts on Instagram, be sure to check that out. That's a wrap for today, traders. Have a great weekend. See you next week.